What is your favorite Star Wars film and why?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, I go back and forth on it. Like, obviously I grew up with the original trilogy, like many of us did. As far as my favorite, this is always kind of a tricky question, right? But I do love Empire Strikes Back, which is convenient because I'm writing the story set just after it. I really love Last Jedi and I really love Rogue One. I think those would be my top three. But you know, sometimes that changes. Like, it depends on when you catch me.
Follow me, please.
All right, welcome back to Midtown Comics TV. We have Charles Soule here. How you feeling?
Good. I mean, there's a whole big stack of my #1 issue of Star Wars. I'm very excited that I got to write this project, like write the Star Wars flagship for Marvel. It's amazing. And obviously, I'm very grateful for you guys to have me in. You've been awesome about having me sign books over my whole career, and this is a really big one for me, so it feels great.
So this story takes place between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. What was that era like to work in?
Well, you know, the existing Star Wars projects that Marvel has done so far have mostly been set between A New Hope and Empire, so Episode 4 and Episode 5. So getting a chance to tell all the untold story between Episode 5 and Episode 6 is great because it's like uncharted territory in the new canon. And, you know, certainly in the old days, there were some stories and legends and so on in the extended universe that told stories in this time period. But now it's all brand new. So I get to, you know, tell stories about Luke Skywalker and how he goes from, you know, when he gets his hand cut off to becoming the, you know, like at his lowest moment, finding out Darth Vader is his father, the whole thing, to the point where he's like that super cool, confident Jedi we see in Return of the Jedi. So, you know, there's a lot of progression for him. Lando Calrissian is another good example, right? So at the end of Empire Strikes Back, he's kind of sketchy, right? Like, he's betrayed everybody, you know, deals all over the place. But then in Jedi, he's like part of the team, right? He's somebody they're absolutely relying on to help rescue Han Solo. And so and Leia, you know, Chewbacca, they all have these arcs because where they are in Jedi is not where they are at the end of Empire. So being able to fill in those gaps and decide how they move from here to there is kind of a blast.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, Star Wars is kind of my favorite.
Oh, okay.
So you've written iconic characters over the years before Marvel and DC. How is it creatively different from these Star Wars characters?
Well, I would say part of the difference is, I'm just going to keep signing. We've got a lot of these to sign tonight.
Keep going.
So I would say part of the difference is that, you know, the way that Star Wars is set up in the new canon is that everything that happens in any piece of media is considered to be all part of the same story. So it can only happen once. Whereas in, you know, in comics, there are reboots and relaunches and retellings, and all of which are wonderful, right? Like, I mean, you know, if we didn't do that stuff, like Dark Knight Returns wouldn't exist, or, you know, you name it. There's been many times when sort of superhero reboots have generated really, really great storytelling. But in Star Wars, it's just a different model, and like stuff only happens once. And so I almost feel like there's like a responsibility to it, because like in the Darth Vader series I told the story of how Darth Vader built that huge fortress he has on Mustafar, right? I told the story of how he got his first lightsaber when he came out of the, you know, after Revenge of the Sith, when he lost his blue one, how he got his red one. Like, these are the stories that are the story moving forward. And so I know, like, I work with a lot of Star Wars, you know, creators, and we all talk about the feeling of responsibility of it, because, you know, if you tell it wrong, then that wrong version of the story is the version that exists. So I just try to take it very seriously. I try to treat it like history or mythology, as opposed to just, you know, another comic I'm writing, and try to choose the best version of these events that I can.
I sort of think I'm going to do my absolute best, and I'm going to make the choices I think are the right choices and the smart choices, and if it works, it works.
And the last question I'll hit you with is,
Sure.
It's a new year, it's a new decade. There's a lot of fresh stuff coming out. Star Wars is going to be huge. What else can we look forward to from you?
For me, let's see. I was thinking about what I can actually talk about right now. So obviously I'm working on Star Wars. I'm doing the Rise of Kylo Ren miniseries, which has, I believe its second issue is out next week, which I'm doing with Will Slane, which is
Because I was thinking, like,
Star Wars is an ongoing series with Ethan Saïz. We have huge plans for many issues to come. Beyond that, let's see, Undiscovered Countries, the book I'm doing with Scott Snyder and Giuseppe Camuncoli, which is a huge kind of crazy, sprawling Image Comics series about the United States closing its borders and reopening them after 30 years, and the country's like massively changed. It's really fun. It's like, it's got a lot of cool adventure to it. So those, my second novel, Anyone, just came out, as we talked about. That's in stores now, Amazon. You can find it everywhere. I'm working on my third novel now, which is great. I have some other comics projects in the works. I have something very cool with Steve McNiven we're working on, and just bunches of other things. I'm always staying really, really busy. But it's awesome. No complaints.
All right. Thank you so much for coming out again.
Pleasure.
And thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And may the force be with you.
Yeah. May the force be with you.